And with that, yes, I do believe that makes us live. Forget that button does that. Alright, greetings and welcome. I am Joffrey, and today we are coming back for a bit of a surprise Tinto talk. I thought they said that there wasn't going to be one today. But we are discussing the Teutonic Order's opening moves, apparently, and some of the more niche details of combat. And I am, in fact, joined by Vector and the Darkest, for the moment, at least.
For the moment.
And I got the ping out. Wonderful. So, scrolling down. Right. A quick start as the Teutonic Order, as they start at war, and I want to go through a bit of how battle works in detail, yes. Background information about the country can be found in the latest Tinto. The Tinto flavor. Excited for March of the Eagles 2 tomorrow? Overjoyed. I have yes. I as a huge March of the Eagles fan myself. Yes, I can. I'm all chubbed up. Yes. Hello, George. Hello, and R.J. Van Veen, and Trig. Hello again, Trig. Welcome back. But the Teutonic Order, you're playing as this country. Yes, successor. They have Grandmaster elective. I wish they would tell us how that works exactly, but presumably it's very simple. Ignoring you as usual. You didn't say nothing. You didn't say nothing, Hot Pocket, so I will ignore you as much as I please. Favorite Saskatchewanian, indeed. Yes. And now I'm getting messaged by my brother. Okay. But the tax base is low, even though the population is relatively well sized. I wonder why that is, because they're not explaining it. Is this because of the lack of buildings to help their GDP? Is it because the populations are not accepted cultures? Yes. But yes, I am a very tsundere. Yes. I would not tell you if I liked you. The population of the Teutons. This is a lovely little graph we have here. Everyone loves pie charts, don't we? I know I do. Catholicism and Remova. You need to get those Remova numbers up. This is, yes, convert to pagan. I'm definitely first playthrough. I think I'll play Lithuania. Yeah, I think I can commit now. Lithuania first playthrough. Got to defeat the Teutons. Wow, that's a big Kashubian population. The Pruthenians are a lot smaller than I thought, actually. There's more Germanic Prussians than Pruthenians already. First play through the Blackfoot of your... Yeah. Yeah, I'll get on that. Yeah, the Blackfoot of Europe. No nobles, though, do they? Do they have any nobles in here? Because you can scroll down.
There's a scroll bar which I don't think is letting us see the nobles.
If there are any nobles, it's such an insignificant number, though, because I can't even see any. There's no. Well, there's a little blue. Maybe it's the
I
blue.
think blue is nobles.
Yeah, there's a little tiny blue color there, so I think that's them. Yeah. While over 70% are Catholics, only 26% belong to our Prussian culture, so we cannot raise a large amount of levies, and considering I have 9 different provinces, it would take centuries to make them all Prussian. Well, gotta get started then! Go! Get those ministers on the job! Assimilation nation! Lithuania has walls. Yeah, that's why they're playable, because they have walls! I would certainly hope most Europeans have walls, because if they don't have walls, they can't be playable. If they can't have walls, if they don't have walls, then they shouldn't be playable. Otherwise, why can't I play the Blackfoot? You're still so against Prussian being German and Pruthenian being the fake word being used for the real Prussians. All right, well, what would you call the German Prussians then? Would you call the two cultures German Prussian and Baltic Prussian? that what you call them? Because that is gross, and you don't want to be gross, do you?
There was a whole bunch of complaining and about this topic in the chat. I mean, not the chat, in the comments after the dev diary. So
This one?
let's not get digressed into this because I spent several pages of reading about it
This
already.
one? In this dev diary, you mean?
Yes.
Oh God. Again. All right. Well, I'll see that in time then. Uh, Vector's gonna dip before then for sure because he's not reading that again. Also have other problems that I don't have great control over most of the country and Masuria, and the southeast are particularly low. Southeast? I mean southwest?
Yes.
Okay. Well, in any case, I assume he means the southwest because that's just there's none control there. It looks like I assume that this is like control map mode, which I don't think we've seen before, and this is very intriguing. I didn't think about the fact that you could potentially have a zero control someplace. I wonder if this is outside. I expect that this is outside of his states or region, whatever the area. So maybe because it's in a different state, he could release that as a vassal. But he's got so many vassals already. I don't know. Just gonna mod the names to the correct ones. Yes. Roads are too expensive during a war, but soon. Yep. He's assimilating in Upper Prussia. Yep. It's not showing. It's not showing us how fast it's assimilating them, but successor for. Oh, that's his successor. Yeah, that's right. He's the successor of the order. Yeah, cultural unity. That's interesting that it shows you like a progress, more or less. Just like cultural unity. This is how much of it is converted. I don't know what the 35 point. Like I don't know what that is. I guess that's the efficiency of it. Yeah. Average control as well. Hello, Snowy. Hello. Yes. Weird that the capital seems to not be Marienburg. Is it? No. That's right. Wait.
Seems like it's Marion.
That I'm pretty sure that's Marienburg. That's at least I know that this is at least the castle. I'm pretty sure Marienburg is the original castle they built, right? Because this is where the original castle they built when they landed was. If it's not Marienburg, then that would explain it. But I used to know so much more about the Teuton history. I used to Malbork. I think no, maybe that. I don't know, but there was a castle that they built when they first landed, and it was the like it's the de jure capital that they kept throughout their time, and it was they named it after like something about the sound that the birds made when they landed there.
Yeah, I will say the capital being white, it seems so off color.
Because it's 100%.
I think it should just be a potentially dark green, so it stays with like sort of the rest of the shading, because it just completely falls off the little color bar they had there.
I
Where it
don't.
shifts from red to green. White does not fit onto that bar.
I kind of like it. Actually.
I don't like white because it looks too similar to the gray around outside the country.
If it wasn't for that, yeah, that's a very good point. That does mess with it.
If you want the capital or 100s to stand out, it should either still be on the bar and be like a dark green, or just make it something that does stand out like blue.
I like blue.
Because
Blue's
blue
a
would
good one.
very clearly stand out.
I think they often use blue. They've used blue in the past for like something that is just off. Where something will it's just a different from the normal like left to right. No, not yellow. Yellow is there's lots of
Yellow's
yellows in
already
here.
used here.
Yeah.
Yeah, yellow's used here. It's
Yeah.
a red to green bar. If they want it to stand out, blue would work best because blue doesn't fit on red to green very well.
Thanks to that you lost your mind in Realms in Exile because you had to find me to get the secret achievement. Oh no. Gosh, I love hearing about people doing that stupid achievement. They'll be on the Discord and people be like, "There's a secret achievement, you know." You just need to find Joffrey. Find Joffrey and give him the amulet. Uh, Alright, but yes, I do, yeah, the barf orange and yellows and all that. I think I would suggest to them, maybe I'll have to leave a comment today, about that I think they should change it from being white to blue because as I was saying, I do like the fact that it's a color that's just distinct because I think that makes it much easier to at a glance see when something is check off the box. Yep, it's at 100% because you can see
Perfect.
already 86 is like it's a very distinctive green color. So you know as it gets more and more green, it'll be hard to tell the difference between a 95 and a 100. And while it's a little bit semantics to that point, you still want to you want to get it to 100%. Where the schnuffles haven't gone yet. Yeah, Trig. I would like to see bigger maps like France as well. That's a good point because this is a pretty small country. Honestly, with how small this is, you see like how quickly it goes to like 44%. This is a 44% control place right next to Marienburg. So that I don't oof. It's gonna get nasty. Uh, good evening, Mouse, as well. Yes. Marcus von Bolga. I get snuffles. I want to stop the snuffling. Let's take a look at this war then. How should we handle it? We have about 100 regulars and about 3.8k levies. And while we have the numerical superiority on our side, Poland and their allies have a rather large army as well. These are showing troop numbers? This is a war map mode, and you can see our army's in green, allied in
Yes.
blue. It's not hidden by fog of war, and the red army's in red. Huh.
No more opening the ledger to see their numbers. Or the war screen, I guess.
So, presumably this is just the immediate start of... Yeah, this is game start,
Yeah.
so armies haven't moved yet. Like
Yeah, the game hasn't unpaused.
Bohemia's troops are still in Prague, for example. 11k. Bohemia itself raises 11k without their vassals. Oh, 12k in fact. That's woo. There's some beefy numbers if you add Bohemia with all its Silesian boys. It's almost enough to keep up with Poland. Actually, no. It probably does add up to be more than Poland if you include all the Silesians. So if they play nice,
Well, don't forget, Poland also has its subjects
it's
that
got
you don't see.
yeah, it's got a couple K there. There's probably some more in the middle here. You're right. You're right. It's not
Yeah,
as many, but
because
it
you
definitely
only
will
see
add
what's
up.
on the border because of fog of war.
And you can't see any of the various Rus subjects that Lithuania has. There's less though than there used to be. I remember the first time they showed Lithuania, they had Kiev as a vassal, and I won't forgive them. I won't forgive them for this insult. Didn't think of that. It's one hell of a drop off. Yes, immediately to 44% is quite the small amount. It's pretty late, and you should go to sleep. Yes. Well, thank you for stopping by, Snowy. It's a pleasure. Uh, needs to be a game rule. What needs to be a game rule? Don't want my enemies. You don't want to see your enemy's troop numbers. You don't want to see because you're zooming out and you see it labeled over them. Huh. Yeah, I think that's a ledger. That's the sort of thing that would go along with ledger. I'm not sure if it's a great feature either. Yeah. Huh. But you mean specifically this number, right? Because you can the only troops you can see here are the enemy troops that are next to you, like that you actually have vision on.
Yeah, he means the number, the
Yeah.
big, the 37,000 one.
You know, I agree. I do think it's I do think that's a bit much because mind you, in single player EU4 you can see the enemy troop numbers. Only in multiplayer it stops it. I think they should probably just I think in single player as well in EU5 they should just axe that because yeah, I think that it should be okay. Like it looks neat. It looks neat. You're like, oh, look at the numbers compared to each other, but it feels a little too gamey, and it's not something that you should have easy access to information about. And because of it's giving you this information you shouldn't have easy access to. It kind of messes with the way that the game has such an emphasis on vision because it's so easy for you to hide troops in your own territory, uh, and in enemy's territory that isn't a core. Because keep in mind, when an enemy territory is not core land, they don't keep vision on it when they lose occupation of it. So here, um, if you can just see how large the enemy side is at any given time, you will know that they've got troops hidden somewhere. Is the point, and I don't like that so much. I like the idea more of being able to debate my opponents into thinking that I have less men than I do. But moving along, I really want to see more about how combat works because I am curious how much of EU5 is going to involve. Oh, look, this is one stack. It's only 26 dudes. I'm curious how much in EU5 it's still going to be the death stacking, where you're going to just roll around with huge clumps of men, or whether you're going to split up your army somewhat. I don't know yet, really,
Um,
how much that's going to work.
it depends on how attrition works, because they said that levies don't replenish during the war, only professional brigades do. So you don't want your levies just melting to attrition.
Yes, but in that case, but my point is more, we don't know. In a war like this, is it advantageous for you to, like, do you immediately want to link up with the Bohemians? And like, do you want to have just both sides just clumped together fighting? Or is this a case where the Orders fight Lithuania and Poland fights the Bohemians? Like, is this a case of if you're playing this in an
I
MP game, do you, as the Lithuanians and Poles,
imagine,
do you just dump on Bohemia to get them
yes,
out of the war immediately?
you dump on one of the two. That's just classic defeating in detail. They have more dudes overall, but they're split up, so you just concentrate and kill one half and then kill the other half later.
Troop range would be neat instead of some like you figure death stacks before the late games because, to be honest, that's mostly how people actually fought before. That's how people actually thought before modern warfare. Death stacks should be optimal until mid game, historically at least, or multiple armies who will operate near each other to support once battle starts. You don't think that they're representing rating style warfare? Makes sense to me. That's very good points. That is, in general, how you would be thinking back in the Middle Ages, where you just gather all the banners together, link up with the Lord of X Castle and stuff, or lump together. You have your big old fight, and then once the big old fight happens, the loser retreats to his castle, and then you siege him out for a while. And if he gets reinforcements, then another battle happens, and otherwise he'll surrender, and then the war is done. And presumably that's kind of how these battles are going to work too. Uh, there is army speed now. Smaller armies are faster. Rating might be usable, at least in some cases. That's fair. It's going to depend, in that case, a lot on how large castles will be. How In a case like Poland, how much castles does Poland have? How many castles does the Golden Horde have? How much can you like range into their territory without them stopping you? Probably quite a bit. However, also when it comes to attacking someone like that, you're not going to get much out of raiding them. So I think it's going to be pretty tough for you to range into someone's land and raid them. It's gonna a lot of times be a case of, especially like even if you're attacking like the Golden Horde, you would really want to be taking those key castle points to lock them down because they're gonna have faster armies than you, and the Golden Horde with their faster armies isn't going to be able to get past your forts because your forts will have the zone of control. And you can't ignore zone of control until late game. Hordes cheat. Hordes cheat like bastards in this game, but even them can't cheat that much yet. They'll add that in the DLC. Just you wait. It'll be DLC. It'll be the Rise of Timur DLC, and it'll give him a special buff if you buy the DLC that says can ignore forts. But, let's continue along. Ideally, as we have a nice amount of manpower from all our order commanderies in Europe, I'd like to raise some more regulars. Luckily, we earn some money from trade in our cities, even though our tax base is so weak. I give the order to recruit 2 more Crusader Knights at 100 men each in Marienburg, and while I gather my levies and regulars at Osterode, I notice that the army of one of the Polish vassals, the county of Sieradz, has moved across the border and started sieging the castle of Thorn. Okay. Okay. Ooh. 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 These names. Ooh. Strasbourg an der Drohens and Neuenburg in West Prussia. We have the new town in West Prussia, and I don't know what Strasbourg means, but Strasbourg's in der Drohens. Ooh, and I've thought that some of the names that I'm getting, I'm putting down for some of my tiles in my own mod are a little icky. It seems you still cannot beat history. I better conquer that to give it a shorter Polish name already. Yes, yes. The Poles better take it quick so they could be a pronounceable name. Oh, goodness. 2.16 morale out of 2.76. Isn't it, it's kind of funny to imagine the fact that so we've seen that the Teutons have just a ludicrous amount of discipline, and so do the Hospitallers. The Knights of St. John and the Teutons both have ludicrous amounts of morale because everyone that's the Holy Order does. But it's funny to think that that probably also applies to their irregular troops. The peasants also probably get this big amount of morale, which is just hilarious to think of. I mean, not morale, discipline. It's those regimented, disciplined, loving troops with their pitchforks. The town in UK called Grimsby, which literally translates to Grimm's Village. Nice, nice. Infantry, cavalry. These are... Huh. I don't remember these symbols. We've seen symbols before for whether a troop is a peasant, a regular, or a mercenary, but I don't remember these. Because these are like bronze, silver, and gold, which implies some sort of ranking. And then these cavalry are a gold. So is this some sort of like tier of unit? Or is it a tier 1 cavalry versus some elite Ritterbrüder or something? Experience brackets. Maybe. Maybe they'll explain? Oh, yeah, that is straight up Walachia's flag. Mariander. Mariander. Levies, regulars, and mercs. Well, they showed us those before, and they didn't have these colors, these specific symbols, I swear. Perhaps not right now, but we can look at that again later to clarify. Because it was just like the last Tinto talk. Okay, well, my morale is a bit low after marching across my lands. I've just appointed a new general with some great stats. Oh yeah, he's going to show it down here. And decided to adjust my army to maximize my chances in battle. Okay, okay. Put my 192 men strong noble levy cavalry. Oh, that's what this is representing. Okay, 192 men strong noble levy cav on the right flank together with 1,000 feudal levies. The center gets 2,000 feudal levies and the left flank has the 2 armored horsemen. Oh. Maybe those are the professional troops then. And the remaining
Yeah,
500...
the other one does say noble levy. Levy being the keyword.
192 strong noble levy cavalry is probably this
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's still noble. It's still levies, even though they're nobles. Yeah. And the 2 armored horsemen are they're professionals.
Then I assume silver probably means marks.
I have high hopes they'll engage quickly and shatter the opposition flank. And there's some tribesmen, footmen. There are some tribesmen, footmen, and clergy levies in the reserves, but I don't expect much of them. My commander still needs 10 more days to give an effective bonus to the army, which I really want, as his 84 diplomacy is another 16.8% morale. Oh, 98 Marshall. If this dude exists on GameStar, he's gonna cook them. He is going to cook the Poles, which I guess is what happened historically. So that would explain why they'd give him such good skills. Good night, Snowy. Yes, good night. I wonder if in Japan warrior monks draw manpower from the clergy. Warrior monks, it would be yeah, because they could represent that. Yeah. I love my Shogun too. Warrior monks. Okay, so here's the flanks. Yeah. So we're going back to CK2 with this one, boys. Units no longer being nice numbers is going to annoy. What do you mean? Is this not nice numbers? Do you not like this? Do you not like the Cavaliere number 2 season 132 men? Why is my nose stuffed again? It was so clear this morning. Yeah. Perhaps that will help. Or maybe just make it worse. Who bloody knows? In any case, we're gonna try that. Alright. Oh, they got the little symbols, the X on the square. I forget, like those are like it's like the symbols you'd put on like a board and shuffle around, yeah. You like the mess? I really hope Old Sealand can have his fun. Yes, Old Sealand better make an appearance tomorrow. Yes. Loving the flank system. Hope it probably matters when planning your armies. I do as well. I wanna get into that mindset of where do you position your men. I'm also curious what this bear symbol means. It's probably his personality affecting it to a degree. Also, the eye presumably means the enemy can't see you. I don't know what the cannon means, but oh, they have no auxiliary troops. There's no supply units in this army. There's so much here that I'm curious about, but they've got food at least. Yay! Yeah, so the point is they're hoping that if they overload the left flank with their elite professional knights, that they'll shatter the left flank and be able to flank the rest of the army then to collapse on the center. That makes sense. And then reserves, he's just got some crappy reserve levies to fill in where necessary. That makes sense as well. That's neat. Yes, the 15 tribesmen will be useful. I am sure the 15 Parthenians will be very useful. Left flank horse archers, center horse archers, right flank horse archers, reserves horse archers, copy paste destroy. I agree. I think that's going to be the meta, the most effective army composition. Just horse archers all the way around. Though the hordes do get some unique auxiliary troops, so you can have some of those in reserve. Yeah. Horse archers. Horse archers will be the AK of EU5. Yeah. Wonder how good holy orders will be for establishing proper standing armies. Probably really good. I expect that they will be the best people at doing it initially. I'm very curious to see. I'm honestly very, very glad that we're getting some better look at how the Teutons work specifically here, because I'm planning on. uh, One of the things I don't know if I've mentioned before, but one of the things I'm planning on doing in my mod, I want to make a unique government type that is a twist on the Holy Order, because I want to make stratocracies a thing, and most of them being present in the equivalent of the HRE that exists in our setting. Most of which would be a special type of HRE thing. And I want to see how you can adjust the way that the Holy Orders function to be just a secular military order. And I so far, with how strong a lot of the combat bonuses that they get are, I think that the Holy Orders are going to be very good for establishing professional armies. But we, I guess, haven't seen enough about how that change takes place between levy focus and professional army focus. They are having some very lovely, lovely quality bonuses. Yeah, you get some crazy amounts of discipline. Yeah, uh, stratocracy, stratocracy. Not that yet. Worry that'll be a trap option because historically they lost a bunch of military power as the crusading period ended and the knights dried up. Well, as the knights dried up, I suppose because they didn't transfer well over to proper standing armies. Well, I suppose, yeah, that's a good point. They stopped getting their supplies of knights. Well, maybe that will be a problem for them. I'm curious, because, yeah, they presumably can't transition into a secular order. If you could transition into a secular military order, that would be very neat, but I doubt it. I'm very curious if it's possible. Uh, Having a stratocratic Prussia would go pretty hard. But I finally give the order to march my army, and a few days later we reach Thorn. They have a slight edge in morale, as their commander has even higher diplomacy than ours. Their military tactics are a 1.18 compared to our 1.09, due to the stronger noble estate and privilege granted in exchange for that. We do have the edge in discipline, though, at 13.1 versus 2.3. Whoa! That's a huge difference for sure. We can thank the Crusader discipline advance and the military order estate privilege for the clergy. Yes. So here is the battle screen. Hoo hoo hoo. So we have the successor of the Holy Order, Friedrich Wilhelm, versus General Turecki. And huh? What's the white number at the top? White numbers at the top of the sections are currently engaged men, while the gray at the bottom is men still not fighting. At the first hour, our plan is to use the cavalry on the flanks paid off, as they, with the slightly higher initiative, got lucky and engaged immediately. As there is no engaged enemy, they'll do morale damage to the entire opposite section. Whoa!
Big shock damage.
That's so cool! We didn't have a proper explanation, I don't believe, of how when a battle starts, not everyone's engaged. That didn't get properly confirmed, I don't think, or at least in my head I wasn't certain. But this is very interesting indeed. That's crazy how important initiative is then, with the fact that all the cavalry units are getting engaged. The Lithuanians have no cavalry, so all of the cavalry for the Teutons gets engaged first before the infantry properly line up, and they're gonna start smashing. It's gonna be nasty. it's two. Yeah, the battles go by hour, not by day. Yes, the battles are going to be very different in the time that they take place over, indeed. Um, just do a worse job converting pops, longer crusade, and more army. Well said, Razan. Well said, yes. Don't convert the pops. We need more crusade. Yes. The cavalry actually striking the flanks. Yes. Horse archers are going to be absolutely ludicrous. I thought that this was the Lithuanians. I'm pretty sure that I'm pretty. Oh wait, no, it's not the Lithuanians. I think this is an army of. There's a Polish vassal. I think it's a Polish vassal. Hordes are going to be brutal. I am going to be quite terrified going up against any cavalry-focused faction at the beginning of the game. And when it comes to mods, there's definitely going to be certain factions that will have very good initiative units, even on their infantry. When you think of certain fantasy races, they'll just have higher initiative on their just foot troops, and those, as a result, will just be incredibly good early game for getting into combat and messing stuff up, which will be fun to mess around with. I know Vector, our elves will definitely be like that, for example. That will be a very good bonus of theirs. They get into combat well.
You know it. Just running right at the enemy.
Yeet! The military system will be fun. I'm going to be very excited to get my hands on it. Unfortunately, the Joff man is not. I'm not big enough to get my hands on the game until it releases, I'm sure. But I'll be there with you all, licking my lips. Like that mods can make mage units that are just artillery nukes the enemy army at the start, and then takes a long time to engage in battle. That is one thing that I'm curious about. Yeah, because I definitely am going to be. You could probably make mage units function more like whatever artillery does. That would be my preference, would be however artillery works, that's how I would do mages. Honestly, I'm now thinking about it. I'm kind of surprised that Anbanar doesn't do that. But eh. Love that this actually seems to be an improvement over the previous system for once. Yeah, isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? They're taking lessons from all their games. Yeah, we got CK2, EU4, mixed together here, and actually that's the best way of describing it. Really, it's a combination of CK2 and EU4. I want to see how cannons function. That's a big thing for me. I want to see how that works because they're not going to be in the reserves. Like they're gonna show up. Is it this? Is this? No. But yeah, the more I think about it, yeah, I definitely would want to make mages function however artillery works in this game, and so that they're long-ranged combat troops with a high hitting explosive power. That's by and large the way they'd function. You do miss the little dudes on the map. I'm sure you'll see the little dudes on the map. We just have not been graced with being able to see them. Do miss the little dudes on the map. Well, we because Razand, we just have not been graced with seeing what the actual proper map is. But they have said that there will be little dudes on the map to a degree, because even Vicky has that. Wonder how you can stretch this to cover over the 19th and 20th century warfare. I'm sure it will. Oh yeah, yes, you're right, Imperator Rome. I almost forgot. I haven't played it in a while now. I really need to get back into playing some Imperator Rome. Light fire, make black candy go boom, rock go fast. It's been confirmed that we'll see the little dudes. Yep. I want to see the little dudes. I hope that we will see the little dudes on the map tomorrow. I want to see what the actual proper map looks like, and we'll be gushing about it. Yes. The reserve artillery has a special bombard phase at the start of combat, and then acts like normal units, but are very slow. That's the understanding. Okay, I can respect that. So that would also function well for mages, I would think, if just yeeting some huge projectiles. I don't think that's how we'd want the Scion units to work, though. Scion units would have to work very differently. If you could even get enough Scions to form a proper unit in battle, though. Swear. So the little dudes in the background of early talk. I don't think so. I don't think we've seen the little dudes. I want it to be a bunch of little dudes on the map. Yeah, I want it to be more like what Vicky does. I won't say that Vicky's battles look the best, but I think that's the right direction. Yeah. Yes, the little army of dudes. Yes, morale damage to the entire opposite section. And a few hours later, the rolls are still the same, still 4-2, because the Poles got the better roll initially. More troops have been engaged. Is that the entire army engaged? No, because the reserves still aren't engaged. And there's still half of the center not engaged. I wonder how this works in coordination with combat width, you know? Live for colorful maps and cool-looking little dudes? Indubitably. You see, part of the reason I'm so excited to see what the actual map looks like is because, as a modder, that means when I'm working on my mod, that's the thing that I'm going to be painting. So I need to see how it looks, to see how fun it's going to be to spruce it up. Yes. Vicky's battle looked fine. They just play like ass. Yes, indeed. Oh, there's very few men engaged on the left flank now, as the Poles have theoretically beaten back Friedrich's Cav. Green numbers on brown at the top there is work in progress. Okay. Our left flank is not engaging fast enough, and our 50-man armored horsemen are getting destroyed by the enemy levies, and they are way too outnumbered to rout 1,000 levies. In the center, the enemy have had their mailed knights engaged, so this should be interesting now. Okay, but there's far too many mailed knights engaged against the levies, surely. Let's check the tooltip for our cavalry. 19 men remaining, but they killed 24 enemies last hour while losing 12 of their own. That's not a good rate. We'd hoped that the rest of the cavalry had engaged at the same time, but apparently not. 42. And inflicting 0.03 morale damage. Dice roll 2. Terrain modifiers, base damage. All modifiers below are multiplied immediately on damage value. Discipline. Armored horseman. Flanking ability. Cavalry power. The military tactics. Yeah, need to show as multiplicative numbers, not as percentage. Yeah, that would be preferable, yeah. If a 50 unit regular destroyed by 1,000 unit levy regiment and both have the same frontage value, then what is the actual advantage of using regulars? I don't think that they've properly explained how frontage works in that regard. I highly doubt that the 50 dudes, I highly doubt that the 50 regiment, the 50-man regiment of professional cav has the same frontage as 1,000 levies. I think it's just that they're on the same flank. They're on the same flank, but I think that you could engage a lot more horsemen. They're not fulfilling frontage in this battle on any side? Yeah, I highly doubt it. There's not enough men. It's there's 3,000 men on each side, almost 4K on the Teuton side, but I highly doubt that they're at the maximum frontage. I don't think that they have not explained to us what the frontage is right now, but I highly doubt that either side is filling it on any of their flanks, except maybe the center. No, because that's at 1,000, and this flank here is over 1,000, so that means that this side could engage more than 1,000 in the center. You think that what Johan is saying is 19 regular units not going to by itself manage to kill all 1,000 levies? Yeah, yeah. 100% isn't. It's doing decently. As said, they lost 12 of their own to 42 enemies killed, but that's still a lot of knights killed for not many peasants. Okay, it's a decent amount of peasants, but the point is you're still losing your knights pretty fast. The rest of the flank needs to engage, otherwise these knights are going to crumble, and that's the problem. Yeah, so let's see what happens next if they explain. The mailed knights' levies in the center shatter on our feudal levies, while our horsemen are destroyed. Luckily, they bought enough time for the rest of that flank to engage. They're showing us here, yeah. Oh, 2.5-star general. Interesting. If he's only 2.5-star general, then I'm terrified to think how good maximum star general would be. That's going to be very interesting for the Holy Orders? What do you mean? Because they can recruit manpower overseas. Yes, very true. I think, oh, that's a good point. Because the commanderies get you manpower from overseas, and manpower is not for your levies. Yeah. Yeah, manpower is not for your levy troops. Levy troops are different entirely. Those are something because you raise your levy troops at the start of the war, and that's the answer to the question of what's the point of using regular troops. Regular troops are what you use your manpower for. Your levies are separate. You raise your levies at the start of the war, and then when you run out of levies, you're just out of levies. But the regular troops replenish from your manpower pool, and holy orders get troops from overseas through their commanderies. So you can have a lot more manpower than you would normally have access to, and as such, you can have a larger core of regular troops. But the Battle of Thorn. Yeah, they were showing here. Regiments fighting. One regiment has fled. Teutonic Order. It's showing the morale. Regiments fighting. Regiments fighting. Regiments in reserve. So all of the Polish cav has fled. All the Polish cav has fled. Most of the Teutonic cav has fled. There is still some Teutonic tribal and clerical levies in reserve. And they still have some cav engaged. You also have more influence on what your units are going to be with it being regulars. It's true. It's true. You can choose. You can recruit a huge number by comparison of regular cav, and if you recruit a larger number of regular, just professional cavalry units, we've seen what they do, like smashing into the enemy's army at the beginning due to their higher initiative and just being far stronger than a given peasant troop. Regulars are clearly way better. That's why 200 plus horsemen instead of 50 would be way different. Yeah, so choosing between the Teutons, Bohemia, Portugal, and England first game is going to be hard. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, Bohemia would be pretty neat as well. You're going to be able to swap to Hussite as them, of course. Do the Hussite wars. It could be fun. Andorra, best first game. Yes. It was one of the first countries that I said would be my first game, so, yes. You can also see a tooltip of a battle widget on the map and see morale and how many men are fighting. So yeah, you do get your little image here that you can click on. That's handy. Very, very concise information. I appreciate that. How many men are fighting still on each side and what their morale is in the bar. Yeah. It's a very good way at dispensing the information at a glance. Quite a few hours later, fighting is still going on, and most regiments have engaged, while some of our reserves have joined our weakened flanks. We also have better dice rolls, so now it looks really good. So yes, as they said, the cavalry bought enough time for the rest of the troops to engage on the left flank. So there's just a little bit of cavalry still engaged on that flank, having held the line long enough for the infantry to catch up. And now they're properly engaged. The reserves have also engaged on both sides. The whole battle is engaged, except for just some little troops. There's some men that still haven't engaged in the middle on the Polish side, which is a little curious to me. Mega campaign purposes added to Vicky and Hearts of Iron. You'd need to add Andorra to CK3 in that case. You'd need to add Andorra to CK3, which it didn't exist. So it didn't exist yet in CK3, I don't think. Just remember Johan saying something about a regular regiment with most of the time have the same frontage as levy regiments. Oh, well that's curious. Huh. This is the reserve. Huh. Oh, and the Teutons have rolled better. Yeah, as they said, they got better dice roll. It's a 5 this time. This is the worst that regulars will ever be, is also true. And both sides still not filling the full frontage. Yeah. We'll have to see the details later, of course. The battle is now won, and it's just a matter of time until the enemy collapses and flees. Yeah, that's fair. They're going to win on the right flank in time. The center is just demolished. They didn't even engage their whole army in time before the center is going to smash them as well. And the left flank, the Poles were fighting for a long time and got tired, but now. And they were slowly starting to beat the Knights, but with the rest of the Teuton army engaged, they have no hope. And pretty good loss ratio. Next week, Pavia is back, and we'll be talking about more religions: Hinduism, Jainism, and Sikhism. Tomorrow, though, is the big day. Yes, the big day. Big day, big day. It is coming. Who's pinging me? Oh, yeah. Oh boy. I'm looking forward to seeing how the Indian religions work, of course, but it's hard to think about that with how exciting it is that tomorrow is the day. Oh my goodness, it's finally gonna be time. They're finally gonna announce it. I can't wait to see what they'll show us. And surely at that point, the YouTubers who went to Barcelona will actually get to show off stuff. I certainly hope they will. I'm really looking forward to seeing more. Because, while I can't play it myself, I mean, it does not stop me from talking about it. I can certainly discuss what people show. Doubt regulars on their own will fully stand up to levies until proper regular armies come in. That makes sense. Yes. Well, I'm hoping. I would like to see, if possible, gameplay from YouTubers right after the announcement. That would be nice. If not, then I will just keep yapping about random things that they have shown. I'm sure there will be multiple rant videos that I can make discussing the reveal trailer on its own.
Reveal trailer is just going to be Johan dancing on a stage, dressed like John Universalis.
He doesn't even show any gameplay at all. Just dances dressed as the dude, Mr. John Universalis. Yeah. You're so mad that Ludi is going to be playing the Romans. You want to see their content so bad, but you have to watch his cringe videos. This is fair.
If it's such a struggle for you, I don't watch Ludi, so I can't make a judgment here. But if the YouTuber is cringe, you can just mute it and get what you need looking at it.
I will probably struggle through listening to him anyway because I will need to listen for every little bit of information I can get. And I'm gonna struggle my way through listening to Ludi talk enough so that I can then make a video discussing his video where he's playing them. Yes, exactly. If you can't listen to him, then listen to me discuss what he did. Because you can bet your ass I'm going to make videos discussing every single gameplay video that people put out. If I can't play it, I'll discuss them doing it. Yeah. If only it was Lambert. Lambert's an OG. Lambert's a real one for sure. I appreciate that, dude. He plays Anbanar, so he's got good taste too. Yeah. I should try playing Anbanar with him sometime if he'd have me. Hmm. Generalist Korea gameplay. That's true. Generalist is also pretty great. And the fact he's going to be playing such an out there country is going to be great as well, because that's going to be a completely different vibe. Maybe he'll get to show us when Yuan collapses and see what he does to exploit the collapse of the Yuan. Or maybe Korea's involved in the struggle somehow. I don't struggle situation. Yeah, it's a situation. Maybe Korea's involved in the situation somehow, and he'll get unique content related to that. One levy is 1K, man. Wonder how Doom Paradox will have made Byzantium. Yeah, because at game start, Byzantium is technically stronger than the Ottomans, but that's probably not going to last. They've probably got all sorts of bad things that are going to happen to them that make it very unlikely that they'll survive. Generalist is going to be fighting the steppe hordes. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Generalist is already making a meta spreadsheet for RGOs before the game is even out? Excuse me? No way! I mean, I say no way. It's Generalist. Of course he bloody is. The only the only other person that is a Vicky 3 player that I could see doing that, there's Daruka Susan. Dairuku Sutane, I think the name is. Yeah, I could see that guy doing a spreadsheet like that too. Uh, but unless because EU5 probably isn't going to have Gaza, so there's not going to be anyone for you to go jump on like that for him to talk about. They're clearly going to be easier than EU4. To which degree is the only question. Yes, definitely. Um, yeah, I think they're probably going to be able to defeat. Like, we'll have to see how they haven't explained how Serbia works. So if the Serbian Empire has a lot of content that is helping them get stronger, then I think that is going to be a big problem for the Romans. But otherwise, levies. Serbia doesn't work? No! Hmm. Miscommunication on the Tinto talk. Yes. I don't think that Old Prussian's a good name. I don't think that Old Prussian's a good name. No. What can Yeah, initiative is the speed for troops getting engaged. Um, the engagement speed, light infantry and cavalry. Light infantry and light cavalry have higher engagement speed and initiative. Diplomatic ability of the commander increases it by... Huh. So diplomatic ability of the character not only increases units' morale, but it also increases their speed, their engagement speed. trying to hold back the auto blob is like trying to hold back the ocean. Well, George, maybe what I should play first. I'm a big Hospitaller enjoyer. I think, which is odd because my ancestry is Prussian. My ancestry on one side of the family is Prussian, and the other side of the family is Ukrainian. But it's Prussians that went into Ukraine, so I'm mostly Ukrainian. But because of that, I would be very intrigued in playing the Teutons for that. But I like the Hospitallers more, and the Hospitallers are in such an interesting situation that I would be very interested in playing the Knights of St. John and trying to defeat the Turks before they get started. That could be so fun if you manage to pull it off, you know? Habibi is playing the Ottomans. Yeah, yeah. Habibi is good too. Habibi is definitely good. Yeah, he's not an annoying person to watch as well. That's for sure. I can agree. He would be fun to watch play the Ottomans. The Hospitallers will definitely have a very tough early game, though. I can imagine they explained in that last diary that there's theoretically going to be a way that there'll be content around them getting Smyrna. I think it's called, because historically they conquer Smyrna on the mainland, and I think that is going to be key to you getting started. You need that mainland foothold in Anatolia before you can get started fighting the Beyliks. You'll have the navy advantage against any of them by a good margin, but also you're gonna have the problem with like your country is gonna be incredibly Greek, so you gotta either like at game start your country is incredibly Greek and lots of Orthodox people, so you're gonna have to religiously and culturally convert fast probably to get the higher speed, the higher levy size. However, and I would say just become Greek, as cringe as that sounds for the Hospitaller to do, but you can't do that because as they showed us, one of the things that the Holy Order government does is it does not let you convert your culture. So you're stuck. You're stuck as French, which means you're just gonna have to convert the whole. You got to convert Rhodes to Occitan. I want to do Rhodes into Jerusalem to Egypt game. Hmm. To Egypt. A fate worse than death. As an Anglo Canadian, I can agree. Yes, the Quebecers. This is what a terrible fate it would be to become Quebec. Uh, French is even more cursed, indeed. You could accept Greek. You could accept the Greeks, I'm sure, and they probably start out accepted. Um, I think okay, the early game, Razan, the early game, you're probably. I hope you have enough cultural capacity to accept the Greeks, but there's probably going to be so many more Greeks than French that it's going to be very expensive, and that's where the problem comes in. Because you see, as they've explained, the greater amount the other culture is in ratio compared to your primary culture, the more expensive it is to accept or tolerate them. So I would probably say you want to tolerate the Greeks and focus on converting them. So you spend your cultural capacity on tolerating them, but you still so you get the penalties reduced, but you still focus on converting them religiously and culturally because you need to get your primary culture up. Because if you don't get it up, it's going to be impossible for you to accept cultures later because you'll just have no people. You'll have no French pops. And if you got no French, whatever the culture is, I'm assuming it's going to be one of the Occitan cultures because I mean, that's what it is in EU4 at any rate. Figure the Greeks are going to start hating Latins. I don't. Yeah, that's a decent point. There's a good chance that they start with a cultural dislike of each other. Wonder if there's any historical animosities. Yeah, there are historical animosities between cultures, and that's probably one of them. Yeah, yeah. The Greeks will only have reasons to dislike the Franks at this point in time. Do cultural relations also affect this? Yeah. Um. Okay. The the Greeks and French have just as much in common as the Greeks and the Turks do. This is the main problem because the Greeks and French, they do not share a majority religion, they don't share a majority language, they don't share any cultural heritage things at all. So they will be at zero. They will have no bonuses at all. So they will start disliking each other quite a bit. And it goes exactly the same for the Turks. So it's going to be very difficult for you to tolerate or accept any cultures as the Hospitallers in that area. I don't know why we started down this rabbit hole of talking about the Hospitallers, but I'm here for it. Greeks versus Bulgars versus Serbs versus Turks versus Latin. I'm a big fan of just messing around with cultural conversion, but also setting up vassals. Oh, that's going to be a big thing. You're probably going to need to set up vassals, but I'm curious when it comes to setting up vassals, if you are the Hospitallers and you conquer stuff in Anatolia and you set up a vassal, the vassal is going to be local culture, of course, or at least I assume. Like, how much choice do you have? They haven't shown us how much choice you get in regards to setting up vassals. And I'm a big Diplo enjoyer. I love messing around with vassals. I love messing around with conversion, all that sort of thing. So I want to know, when you set up a vassal, can I decide that vassal is going to be my culture? Can I make them French? Can I make it a new French holy order? You taking it a step further. Can I make them my government type? Can I make it a separate, like, junior holy order that I've now just set up? I'd really like it if that's the case. I would like to be able to, because if I could set up another holy order of my culture, first of all, they'll be very efficient military-wise for their size, and second of all, they'll also help with cultural and religious conversion. I definitely don't like, and mind you, I could also see the merit in setting them up as a local culture because they'll manage their population better. But I'd prefer if I could make them my own to help with the conversion speed of this newly conquered land. They'll help administer it, but they'll also help convert it. Wonder if that'll be based on what kind of vassals you can make, because diplomatic focus gives you unique vassals, which I figure will be better for that. Indeed, and I'm going to a lot of the times be taking the diplo focus as soon as the Renaissance starts because I like that. I like it a lot. You get the diplo focus gives you, as I discussed it in my last rant video, the focuses briefly, and how Diplo gives you fabricating claims and it gives you marches. So that's going to be really good. I think that Diplo focus is going to be the best focus for if you're expanding a lot. I figured that if you want to conquer a lot, that is going to be what you want to do. Unless Holy Orders get a unique type of CB for heretics and heathens. Whereas I guess colonies will be locked your culture and religion. There's one big thread recently among people about the representation of Protestants. Yes, I did see that was I didn't think it had much traction when I first saw it, but oh, this is good. That's a good one. I very much agree with this. I'll just open this one up. I'm just gonna say I second this. But the battle screen's bad. Wrong, wrong, wrong. The battle screen is not bad. But where lack of Protestant faith? Yeah, yeah. Because so I assume because there's just not many. Yeah, there's only a couple Protestant faiths, and I've talked about is Vector still here? Yeah. Oh, he's deafened. Um, I'm talking too much. My ADHD is acting up, and I'm going all over the place. Woo! So there's not enough Protestant faiths. I like the concept. Okay, because we've got Waldensians and Cathars, but I don't like the fact that the only two of the Reformation religions that appear are Lutherans and Calvinists. I don't like that. I do not like that that is representing all of them. It, March might serve the same use. Razand, I suspect you won't be able to make new holy orders. I would like that, but a March would serve me just fine, I'm sure. The thing, with the co-host Saw Pocket, is that Dark had to leave partway through, and he didn't mention when he left because I was too busy yapping, and Vector has deafened himself. This tends to happen a lot. We do it together, but I kind of dominate the discussion.
Well, in particular, if we've got other stuff going on, my dad came up to talk to me about dinner, so I'll probably need to run and do that soon.
You undeafened. Oh, hello. Um, they're asking what your opinion was on the religions thing, because I know we've discussed it a bit in the past.
Which specific bit?
Lack of other religions. There's a lack of other Protestant faiths specifically. Sorry.
So this is a thing where there are a million different Protestant splinter churches. I get why they don't want to do them all. Could they add more? Yes, and I think there's an argument for more, but I don't think they need to do everyone under heaven, essentially. And that's basically where I'm currently sitting. It's like I'm not going to raise a fuss over it because there are the church aspects that kind of let you essentially simulate those various splinter churches based on different countries and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If they wanted to add more for the biggest splinters, that'd be good. But I don't think it's like a grave sin like I've seen some other people refer it to, essentially. And definitely, I think some people are asking for way too much granularity, particularly when, to a degree, the whole Protestant religion is also meant to help because so much of Europe starts Catholic and it's done by pops and stuff. So if you divide the Protestants into a million subdivisions on a gameplay level, that could create complexities in terms of actually getting them to cooperate to the point where they can, stand up to the Catholics. Some might argue that that's historically accurate, and to a degree it is, but I don't know. So those are kind of my thoughts at the moment.
Well, thank you. I think that is a very good point. I agree that the church aspects do a good job of representing it. It simply becomes. It's just the fact that it feels a little. It's only the fact that it feels weird to me that they're called Lutherans and Calvinists.
Yes, agreed. With how they've done it, I would instead have them do it as Protestant and Reformed instead, because those are better overarching terms compared to Lutheranism and Calvinism. So I feel like they should do that if this is how they want to do it. But if they want to further subdivide later on, which is possible they do, then Lutheranism and Calvinism as names make more sense.
Mm-hmm. The names Lutheranism and Calvinism imply that there will be more Protestant and Reformed religions, and that's why you can't just call them that. But if they're the only ones in that category, then it doesn't make sense for them to be these specific ones because it feels exclusionary. And I don't. It feels like it's oddly specific, and it makes you feel like the others aren't being represented. When the just broader name would, I feel. But poor Catholics and Protestants. But yes, as is said, you have to stop somewhere, and no matter where you stop, someone is not going to be happy about it. Same with or is it the Spice Wars? Yes, Rasak said the just like the Spice Wars, this will continue. Everyone complaining about whether it's good or bad to have different kinds of spice. I think it's good to have the different kinds of spice, but we'll see how it works when it comes to actual gameplay. You can see big agrees and big disagrees. Byzantium should not be a difficult country to play most of the time.
I did see the first comment in that previous thread you looked at. I think it had a good point, which is every religion, it works on a Vic2 method where characters of the same religion and same culture go in, and same pop type go into a single category for the system to track, essentially. Yeah. And so the more of those you have to track, the worse the performance becomes. So I don't think it's a big concern because they did subdivide Animist, for example, into a quintillion regional cultural faiths.
Yes.
So I don't think it's an issue, but it is something to keep in mind. So.
Yeah, that's fair. think the animist one is different, though. Well, most of the times with those animist ones, it's because of a lack of information. And that's why they're done that way. But I don't expect that the performance is going to be hit too much either. Because otherwise they probably wouldn't have divided them up that much. What else? No, there's that. That's a different thing. Did really already go through all the? Oh, no. Yeah, I didn't go through all of the comments here. There's just not too much. Lord Thanatos. The fella who made the really good feedback post on the on the Pope situation. Yeah. Only piece of feedback I can give here is that I believe you're still using Remova rather than the Baltic Pagan label. Oh. Yeah, I don't like the term of just assigning pagan to something. Just like it's Baltic pagan, just it's the pagan religion for this area. I think that the using like sure it's a neo-pagan term, but it certainly fits the bill rather than the generic name. Had to disagree with Lord Thanatos on something finally. Everything else I've seen of his I liked. So we get flanks. How do artillery divisions work into this? Yeah, because they, as y'all were saying, they do a nice barrage at the start of the battle, and then they stick in their section. They got shit initiative, so they won't engage early after that. So other regiments will tank for them. Okay. Easy funding. We'll be here at work tomorrow morning for the announcement. Yes, yes. Nice. You must watch the announcement. We must all witness the glory. I suppose I will need to schedule some sort of watch party for it, I suppose. So that y'all can see the bald man go, oh, 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 look. Coca-Cola religion. Yeah, it's not as that wouldn't be as weird as the rake religion, I'm being honest. Bald man do funny. Yeah, I'm gonna do the funny. You can bet that for sure. Wow. That's the wow. We all need to wow together. Say wow a copious amount of times tomorrow, yeah. You think my mages are devastating now? Wait till I get the horse-drawn mages advancement. Mages in a fucking war wagon. Thank you, Eric. I need, yeah. War wagon mages. There we go. I don't know who the hell needs to have war wagon mages. Oh my goodness. Most places, okay. So George, most places in our mod aren't going to have a institution. We're going to have to get our hands on it to see what we can do, but we plan on making a new institution, two institutions specifically for Magic at least at game start, like for our first version of the mod, that is, for basic Magic, just like people who have learned some sort of Magic. And then there would be a more advanced one that most people don't have at game start, which is called Codified Magical Studies. And this is like the difference in like institution between just magic exists in the society and is passed down like master to student, so that in that case you will have some, like the basic magic will allow you to make some buildings associated with mages, and you can do some production methods, some very basic production methods related to magic, but it stops there. But the later on one, the codified magical study, is what allows like proper magical education, and that is what you would need to get any sort of like actual magic regiments in your armies. So someone maybe would have like a mid-game tech that's like, oh, once they get codified magical study and start, they would be able to get war wagon mages or some shit. Could be on the steps somewhere maybe. Or it could be, I don't know, we have some people that are kind of Czechs. We have some not Czechs, kind of. Maybe they could do that. I don't know. But it's going to happen now. I'm not going to forget now, because this is incredible. This is a hilarious concept. So that is going straight into the world building. No joke, there'd probably be a huge upgrade. Mages can rest until they're in place to cast instead of having to walk. Bro, they just chill in the cart. The cart brings them up to the battle. Zap! And then they rest. War wagon mages or tanks. Someone will need to. So the thing with on that subject, Rasak, is that we have there's kind of a split, more or less, between the Western continent, which is the old world, is going to be more focused on industry and technology with some magic augmenting it, but there's a lot less magic there, relatively speaking. Meanwhile, the East / the New World, which is the New World in so much as it's not as settled, is going to be much more magically infused. So there's going to be a lot more technologies that start over there relating to magic, and a lot of people there have the codified magical study stuff. So there's a big old country that's over in the East that's like it's as if China's in the New World basically, and they're gonna have a bunch of magical shit. They probably don't use cart mages though. They'll eventually have war mages on trains though, probably, if the dwarves have anything to say about it over there. But in the West they might invent tanks. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how far we want the steampunkery to go. Need a unique variant called Shadow Blade. Okay, Hot Pocket, they explained to us that there is going to be an end game tech in EU5 that is trains. Like, they're going to be shitty trains, but there will be trains. So in our mod, we're going to have two different kinds of late game techs that are trains. We're going to have Magitech trains, which are run on funny magic rock, and use runes to power them and shit. And then on the other side, you have coal-powered trains, and then those two worlds compete. So yeah, I mean, because of that, we're going to use trains, yeah. I hope they will. Oh my gosh, great. Not checks of an early reformation that gives them organized magic early. Well, they will be in the part of the map. They will be in the part of the world where they are learning about the codified magical stuff, yeah. So, it's basically a case of the equivalent of Europe. The not Europe part of our map is going to, it's gotten a, over the past, like a couple decades before game start, there was an epic OC mage dude who died doing a thing that I'll get into once I start doing lore videos about the setting. And they started building schools around the place. So the codified magic is starting to spread. It's becoming a thing at the same time that the Renaissance is. Yeah. All trains run on funny rocks, whether they're magic or otherwise. Yeah. Oh yeah. A train idea for a D&D session does sound fun. Yes, a D&D session on a train. You could do some sort of yes, the Murder on the Orient Express. Nothing could possibly go wrong with burning magic rocks into the air. Oh goodness, got so distracted talking about that. The EU5 isn't announced yet. I'm not supposed to be talking too much about our planned mod. No, it's supposed to be, and here I am spilling all the beans. What am I doing? uh, mentioned diplomacy, skill, giving, morale. What the other ones do? Oh yes, logistics stuff. Logistics, distance. This is the Stellaris prequel, of course, yes. Oh, that's right. Admin skill increases your frontage. Oh my god, I forgot it does that. Yikes. These are all so important. All of these are incredibly important. You wonder how many mods this will spawn? This probably will be the Skyrim of grand strategy games, yeah. I certainly hope it is, yeah. I I'm gonna have to try my best to get my foot in the door early when it comes to to said tidal wave of mods. I gotta try and recruit people with this. Hopefully with any luck, all of the Tinto Talk podcast things that we've been doing on the channel here, and the videos that I can do discussing the lore and planned ideas for our own mod here will help garner more people to come and help with the project and get us that foot in the door early on. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I'll take whatever comes. Are we recruiting modders? Well, we're gonna have to. I haven't made an official announcement about it because it's rather silly to make an official announcement about a mod project when a game hasn't been officially announced. But after EU5 is officially announced, I'll put something together to make an official announcement for our planned mod, and then I'll start making lore videos along with discussions about what we're planning to do for the various areas of the map. So that will be coming, but I feel comfortable explaining this here just because it's at the tail end of this long stream just before announcement, so y'all are going to find out soon enough anyway. Frontage is OP, but having a bad Diplo leader might be worse. So the morale is going to be very bad. The army morale and the initiative. I think this is probably going to be... No. I don't know if I can say any of these are more important, though. I don't know, man. Because the frontage... Okay. I don't know what correct section chance is, but frontage relies on initiative. There is that. This is the case, because you to make use of more frontage, you need to have your troops get into combat, actually. But by the mid-game of the combat, everyone's engaged anyway. I don't know. Recruit me! I have many big opinions about matters I have zero knowledge about. Whoa! Oh yeah, yes, Nathaniel. That's how it's gonna be a lot of the time. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of people I know that joined the project that don't know much about modding that have big opinions despite that. And I am fine with that. I'm going to be more than happy to teach folks how things work. You can bet your ass I'm going to be teaching people how to mod the game through more videos once EU5 is out. It's probably going to be something I make pretty quick is videos discussing how to mod it. Because I'm going to be just as soon as I'm going to be playing it, I'm going to be trying to mod it. That's how I work. Well, anyone who would like to learn more about our planned mod and the settings surrounding it, the link to the Discord is in the description. We have a specific role you can react to. There's a role channel where you can react to things, and it gives you a role, and it'll give you access to the world building channel, also known as the kitchen, because that's where we cook. And sometimes we pop in a VC there, type stuff up. Been a little distracted with trying to pump out more EU5 stuff lately, so I haven't been doing as much in there. But I have been on the down. I've been doing a little bit of work on the province map preemptively in CK3. So anyone who comes can check out that as well. He. But continuing along here, I think, as Rasak was saying, initiative snowballs. I think that initiative is. But combat speed. Does not combat speed cause you to actually get engaged? Is it not that initiative allows you to make the combat, like the roll? Like, initiative allows the unit to try to move, and then you'd also need combat speed to get in there. I think that's also the case. I think military ability might be the most important, because this is how you get your army into an advantageous position with army movement speed. This gets you around the map. So you can jump, you can ambush someone better if you're hiding. Discipline means your units all just fight better. That's a 9% increase to their effectiveness in general. And then the combat speed will get them into the battle as well as initiative. I don't think that Anbanar is going to be able to make Harpy armies fly on both land and sea, my dude. I don't think that's going to work. I don't think it's going to be able to work. And yes, Endrit, I am surprised by how important all three of these things are. All of this is crazy important. Okay, logistics distance is a sleeper hit too. We're not even discussing the existence of logistics. I'm saving this fucking image right now. Grab that. Logistics distance. I'm gonna need to, because this is at the tail end of a stream here. So I'm gonna need to make a rant video where I just spend 10 minutes yapping, irrespective of the stream, about how important all of these goddamn things are. Because can you imagine? Look at this is 1. He's got 10 administrative ability. Imagine if that was his 90, and he had a 90% extra logistics. You could have your army so far into enemy territory and still be able to connect back to your supplies. The frontage? That's an extra 9% possible frontage. You could, if you then even have decent initiative, you could have so many more men engaged in a proper big battle. It's great that they're all useful. No more no shock, trash, yeet. Yeah. No shock, get in the trash. That's gonna be, it's gonna be so good. But the 9% discipline and then the army movement speed. Oh, and the interesting thing is none of these are penalties. None of these are things that you don't have. You have a bad stat, so it gives you a penalty. It's just that it's less good. It's all bonuses. It's all additive. None of it is reductive. But how much the bonus is the big distinction. So this is a big one. Definitely gonna have to yap about this. Teutonic Order in Poland should not start at war. What? God damn it! But I want them to start at war. I want them to start at war. It's fun. Starting wars are fun. Oh, it's helpful. Bring it up to 69, I guess. Yeah. Nice. Quick question about the army UI. Are the bars on the regiment cars just visual indicators of their position, or are they clickable buttons? Clickable to move. Oh, you click them. You click on the buttons, and then they'll move to the different sections of the battle. That makes sense. Huh. I'm snuffling. Oh, but yeah, on the section on the subject of Anbanar, Nathaniel, that is a big when it comes to the topic of making a grand strategy fantasy mod for EU5. Pops cause endless joys and endless problems. So it comes down to assimilation. Is a big thing that becomes a big question. And we keep debating how to handle it exactly. There's some people in this community who have some very strong opinions on how it should be handled, and it's I don't know. We're eternally debating how best to handle assimilation. Yeah. Well, there's the thing, Razand. Assimilate harpies into humans. Well, in our setting, most of the races we have are custom invented for the setting because we're trying to be more unique than we don't want to step on Anbanar's toes as much because they're the standard D&D kind of setting. It's much more comfy.
No attention to the conventional elves and dwarves in the east.
It is Vector's fault that we have conventional elves and dwarves in the new world so that people are happy. Fine. Yeah. Vector's the angel on my shoulder, whatever. I'm like, well, we need to make something distinct so that it's not generic. People can't say, oh, that you took that idea from there. And then Vector's like, but what if I want to? And then I go, fine. And then he writes 1,000,000 pages about it and then throws it into a text channel somewhere to be forgotten by everyone except him because he always remembers it. No one knows how he does it.
My mind is an item trap for random crap I write.
Yes. So one thing, for anyone who cares, I'll say this at the end of the stream, I suppose, for anyone who's curious, because we're going to wrap this up in a second, but that topic when it comes to the modding is, do you allow, because most of our races are custom made, do you allow the various races to mix and then as a result assimilate? Because we don't so far what we're doing is that there is no such thing as a half race. It's the Elder Scrolls style thing of depending on who the parent is, then they just will become this or that, so that we can because that helps with the fact that there's characters in charge of countries and they can marry. So currently, whoever the father is, that is what the dominant gene will be. And then that allows us to make most races able to assimilate each other still, so that you can still have the normal gameplay happen and then also have people marry each other. Because it kind of gets annoying when you're playing like Anbanar, for example, and really good mod. There's just some things like this where I would like our own mod to be different, where you can't royally marry most races because the incompatible biology. Only if they're hot, yeah. The only criteria that matters. If they're hot, then it works. All right. Take all of the bugs off. All the bugs off the list of people that the humans can mix with. Yeah, all right. They do not all look like that. The Bugmen? The Bugmen, Vector?
Be done.
Okay. I think we can end this here, yeah. I'm just not so used to people sticking around this long. There's so many people still here, and they keep the number keeps going up, and then it goes down, and then it goes up. And it's like I'm not used to this.
Everybody is so anxious for the Project Caesar announcement that they are willing to endure just sitting here so that they can think about it coming.
It's true. Everyone's gonna be so eager for it. I should. Will you be around tomorrow morning, Vector, for the announcement? Yes, no? Hmm? You still here, Vector?
Hmm?
Will you be here for tomorrow's announcement?
When will that be tomorrow again?
17 hours from now. 10 a.m. my time, so 11 your time, I think.
I will be at work. I might be able to I will be watching it probably on my phone, but I will probably not be able to VC while it's going on.
Okay. It is, I guess it's gonna be my lonesome in VC then, because Dark won't be around either, I don't think. Or wait, maybe he said he would be. I don't know. In any case, I'm gonna have to I'll have to prepare a watch party stream for that. But yes, yes, I'm sure most people won't be watching me watching it, and that is just fine. Y'all enjoy the announcement however is best for you. And if you feel like it, come and watch me yap about it afterwards. It's as much I'm gonna have the watch party thing as much for me, so that I can look at myself react to it later as anything, to be honest.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. I think we'll finally wrap this one up here as we approach a 100-minute stream. Thank you all for watching, and hope to see you next time, which is tomorrow. Bye-bye. Bye-bye-bye-bye-bye-bye-bye-bye-bye.